Have you ever noticed how, like, a brand new top-of-the-line smartphone feels like a speeding Corvette straight out of the factory, but then...
3 years later, it somehow drives like a tractor pulling a parachute?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is a universal experience, right?
It really is, and we usually just, blame the manufacturer, or we assume the device is just obsolete.
We just reach for our wallets to buy the next model.
Right, which is completely unnecessary most of the time.
Which brings us perfectly to today's topic. Welcome to today's deep dive. I am so glad you are joining us because our mission today is to completely change how you view that supercomputer sitting in your pocket right now.
We are essentially going to teach you how to perform a digital oil change.
I love that phrase because we're uncovering the hidden, invisible digital clutter that is secretly slowing down your life. And we're going to learn how to treat our everyday tech with the respect it actually demands.
Because the truth is, the slowdown you're experiencing usually isn't a hardware failure at all. It's mechanical negligence.
Yes, and the source material we are pulling from today is absolutely brilliant for understanding this. We are looking at a strategy guide from a creator named Axel Nodik.
Right, he runs the channel Corvette 724.
That's the one. He has this incredibly compelling premise. He basically asks, why does your high-end smartphone have more in common with a multi-million-dollar Stradivarius violin,
or a speeding Corvette,
right, or a Corvette, than it does with just a basic pocket calculator?
Axel's approach is highly analytical, but it's very grounded in reality. He forces us to stop looking at the operating system as this magical, indestructible black box.
Yeah, we really do treat them like magic glass blocks.
We do.
Yeah.
But instead, he frames it as a highly complex mechanical engine, an engine that gets bogged down by its own exhaust if you don't maintain it.
Okay, let's unpack this, because Axel starts his guide with what I can only really describe as a digital tech thriller.
Oh, the Samsung story, yeah.
Yeah, to really understand why we need to maintain these devices, we have to look at what happens when the engine completely fails.
The story he shares perfectly illustrates the breaking point of a neglected system.
So Axel and his team were doing a routine task, they were upgrading, they had this older, but still incredibly powerful Samsung Galaxy S21.
Still a very capable phone.
Totally. And they needed to do a deep factory reset on it just to prepare it for a new device, the S26. Now, normally, when you hit factory reset, you expect the screen to go black, maybe a little loading bar appears, and then, boom, clean slate.
In theory, yes. I mean, a factory reset is supposed to execute a very specific script.
Right.
It wipes the user partition, deletes all the localized data, and restores the operating system to its original, out-of-the-box base firmware.
It should be totally sterile.
Exactly. It should be a sterile, straightforward process.
But this Galaxy S21 practically rebelled. Axel describes it as clinging to the user account.
Like it didn't want to let go.
Yes. It got stuck in these endless, agonizing verification loops. The system was completely unstable, lagging on every single screen. And then, bizarrely, the phone just gave up and started speaking Estonian.
Right. It just displayed Terra Toolmass.
Yeah, Terra Toolmass, which means welcome in Estonian. I mean, how does that even happen?
It's a terrifying moment for a user, honestly. But, what's fascinating here is the underlying mechanism of that failure.
Tell me more about that.
Well, when we say a phone is smart, what we really mean is that it has a deeply integrated, constantly moving file system.
Okay.
Every single action you take, logging into an app, taking a quick photo, receiving a text, it creates this sprawling web of background processes and temporary files.
Right, so it's not just saving the photo, it's logging the time, the GPS location, the metadata.
Syncing it to the cloud,
Yeah.
Yes. And when those digital pipes, as Axel calls them, become completely clogged with years of accumulated unmanaged data, the system struggles to execute even basic scripts.
Even the script designed to erase the phone itself.
Exactly, including the factory reset script.
Wait, so the factory reset script basically tripped over a mountain of its own digital garbage?
Precisely. The system is desperately trying to verify an account deletion, but the cache is completely corrupted.
Oh, wow.
The internal storage is maxed out, so it has literally no room to move temporary files around. The processor is overheating, just trying to index ghost files.
So it just crashes.
Yeah, the reset process essentially fragments and crashes mid-execution.
Yeah.
And when an operating system encounters a critical failure like that during a boot sequence, it panics.
Makes sense.
It defaults to a safe mode. and it pulls the very first localized string file it can find in the corrupted base code.
Which in this case was Estonian.
Right.
Because E comes early in the alphabetical string list. It's like the phone had a nervous breakdown, forgot who it was, and just grabbed the first language it saw on the way down.
That is a very accurate way to look at it, actually. Even top-tier technology gets stubborn and, well, deeply unpredictable when it can't breathe.
Which brings us to what Axel Notte calls the Stradivarius principle. I absolutely love this concept.
It's brilliant because it shifts the blame from the device back to the user.
Yes. It is the core philosophy of his entire guide. The principle is simply translated as, one must also be able to play a Stradivarius.
Meaning, it's not enough to just swipe your credit card and own the high-end instrument.
Right. Just holding a multi-million-dollar violin doesn't guarantee you're going to produce a beautiful symphony.
Exactly. If you hand a Stradivarius to a novice who never changes the strings, never cleans the rosin off the wood, and, stores it in a damp basement,
it's going to sound terrible.
it's going to sound awful. The performance suffers, but not because the instrument is flawed. It suffers because it lacks a master's touch.
And we really do treat our phones like indestructible blocks of glass. We just tap the screen and expect instant magic.
But they're complex engines, which is why Axel's secondary analogy, the Corvette, fits so perfectly here.
Yeah, if you want Autobahn-level speeds, you have to perform Autobahn-level maintenance.
And that requires knowing where the dirt actually accumulates. Axel identifies 3 very specific, highly hidden locations within the file system.
Hidden locations, like deliberately hidden.
Yes. These are directories buried deep within the operating system that quietly eat up massive amounts of storage. And they actively drain your processing power.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because the first hidden location Axel points out is something most people have never even heard of.
I certainly hadn't before diving into this.
It's called the .thumbnails folder, and it is a hidden giant.
It is easily the single most common culprit for unexplained storage loss on Android devices.
Okay, let me give you the exact map to find this thing because it is buried. To find it, you have to go into your device's internal storage, then open the folder called DCIM.
The camera folder, right?
Yeah, and inside there's a folder called simply .thumbnails. That's period, thumbnails.
And we really need to focus on that little period, that dot right before the word thumbnails.
Why is the dot so important?
It is a crucial piece of software engineering. In Linux and Android environments, adding a period to the start of a folder name automatically instructs the operating system to hide it from the user.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is invisible by default. You will not see it in your normal gallery or your file explorer.
But why hide it? I mean, what is the phone actually putting in this invisible folder?
Well, it's a symptom of how modern software prioritizes the illusion of speed over actual system efficiency.
The illusion of speed.
Right. Think about when you open your photo gallery.
Yeah.
You expect to instantly see hundreds of tiny pictures, the thumbnails of all your photos and videos.
Sure, so you can scroll smoothly through months of memories without a single stutter.
Exactly. If it lags even a second, we get frustrated.
Totally. We just want it to be instantaneous.
But rendering a high-resolution, 12-megapixel photo takes serious processing power. If the phone had to load the full-size, raw image every single time you scrolled past it, your gallery app would freeze constantly.
It would be unusable.
It would be a terrible user experience.
Yeah.
So to create that flawlessly smooth scrolling experience, Android secretly generates a tiny, low-resolution preview copy of every single photo and video you have ever viewed.
Every single one.
Every single one. And it dumps all of those preview copies into that hidden .thumbnails folder.
Wait, hold on. If I take a terrible, blurry photo of my cat, realize it's bad, and immediately delete it from my gallery, it's gone.
From the gallery, yes.
Right, so why would the phone secretly keep a ghost version of something I specifically told it to destroy?
Because the gallery user interface and the underlying file system are not perfectly synchronized.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Not. When you hit delete in your gallery, the system deletes the original high-resolution file. But it very rarely goes into that hidden .thumbnails folder to clean up the tiny preview copy it already generated.
It just leaves it there.
It just leaves it there.
So it's hoarding ghost files of things I don't even own anymore? That is maddening.
It really is. I mean, over months and years of taking photos, viewing memes, receiving pictures in group chats, the phone is generating tens of thousands of these tiny ghost files.
And because the folder has that little dot in front of it, I have absolutely no idea this is happening behind the scenes.
Right. To fix this, You have to actively take on that master's touch we talked about.
Like the Stradivarius?
Exactly. You have to open your My Files app, dig into the settings, and manually enable a toggle that says Show Hidden System Files.
And only then will that .thumbnails folder actually reveal itself.
Exactly.
And Axel says deleting the contents of that folder can free up thousands of useless files instantly. It's like pulling off the baseboards in your house and sweeping out years of digital dust bunnies.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about reclaiming storage space either. It relieves the operating system from having to constantly track and manage thousands of orphaned files that no longer serve any purpose.
That makes total sense. But it's wild that a tiny thumbnail can cause a bottleneck?
Right.
I mean, if that's what a kilobyte of data does to the system, it makes me terrified to think about what happens when we try to push full gigabytes of video through those same clogged pipes.
Which brings us nicely to the second hidden location Axel discusses. And this one is exponentially worse in terms of raw data consumption.
Oh boy, the WhatsApp sent folder. If you use WhatsApp, this is going to blow your mind.
It's a huge issue.
Let me read you the exact path, because this one is nested so deep it feels like they don't want you to find it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you go to Android, then Media, then .com.whatsapp, then WhatsApp, then Media, then WhatsApp Video, and finally a folder called Sent.
It takes some serious digging.
So many folders.
But what you find inside that specific Sent folder is a masterclass in unintentional data duplication.
So explain the mechanism here, because honestly, this feels like a massive design flaw. Why would an app deliberately duplicate a huge video file I just took?
It comes down to a concept called sandboxing, combined with the necessary mechanics of data compression.
Oh, sandboxing.
In modern operating systems, apps are sandboxed, meaning they are walled off from each other for security and privacy reasons.
That makes sense.
WhatsApp cannot easily just reach into your main camera roll, grab a file, alter it, and send it without jumping through some major security hoop.
Okay, I get that. You want that privacy barrier.
Right. Now, combine that with compression. Let's say you take a beautifully crisp 4K video of your kid's birthday party.
Great.
That video file is huge, easily a gigabyte. If you try to send that raw file through WhatsApp, it would consume all your cellular data and take, 20 minutes to upload.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody. So WhatsApp compresses it. It crunches the resolution down so it sends instantly.
Right, which we appreciate.
But because of sandboxing, WhatsApp doesn't just compress it and stream it out. It creates a brand new, separate compressed copy of that video.
Oh no.
Yes. It saves it locally within its own private application folder and then sends that copy.
Okay, I guess that solves the immediate problem of sending it quickly without breaking the security sandbox.
Sure, but then it leaves that compressed copy sitting in the sent folder permanently.
Forever.
Forever. It does this for every single video you ever send. If you forward a funny 100 megabyte video to 5 different group chats over the course of a week, WhatsApp might be generating multiple independent copies of that exact same video.
Piling them up.
Exactly. And because this folder is buried deep in the app's media directory, it doesn't show up in your normal photo gallery. You never see it.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, what is the actual day-to-day impact of this? Aside from just getting an out-of-storage warning when I try to, download a new app.
The impact is severe system degradation, specifically regarding your phone's indexing system.
Indexing?
Yeah. Think of your phone's media scanner like a highly stressed librarian.
Okay, I like this analogy.
This librarian's job is to constantly patrol your massive storage drive, categorizing and taking inventory of every single file it finds.
So they know where everything is?
Yes. This ensures that when you search for something or open an app, the data appears instantly. Now imagine if someone secretly dumped thousands of duplicate, unlabeled, or completely irrelevant books into the basement of the library.
The librarian still has to catalog them all.
Exactly. They don't get a choice. When your storage is packed with gigabytes of duplicated WhatsApp videos, that media scanner has to constantly read, catalog, and index absolute garbage.
It exhausts the librarian.
It exhausts the system, it consumes processor cycles in the background, it drains your battery faster, and it causes the entire operating system to feel incredibly sluggish.
Because the processor is busy doing busy work.
Exactly. Doing work for files you don't even know exist.
Oh man. Going back to Axel Notick's comparison, it is exactly like buying a brand new Corvette, engineered for Autobahn speeds, but driving it around with a trunk completely filled with duplicate VHS tapes of every home movie you've ever mailed to a friend.
That is the absolute perfect way to visualize it.
Yes, ridiculous.
The engine is incredibly powerful,
Right.
but it's dragging hundreds of pounds of dead weight. If you want that Autobahn performance, you have to empty the trunk.
Right.
You have to navigate into that WhatsApp sent folder and manually delete those duplicates.
Okay, so we've cleared out the media, we've swept up the thousands of tiny ghost photos in the thumbnails folder, and we've emptied the trunk of those massive duplicate videos.
Yes, but we're not quite done.
Right, because there's one more layer of maintenance Axel talks about. And this isn't about media at all. This is about the everyday wear and tear of just existing on the internet.
Yes. The third area is the app cache.
Right. And the path for this one is a bit different because it applies universally across your device.
More of a system setting.
Exactly. You go into your phone settings, then apps, then you select a specific app like, say, Chrome or Telegram or Instagram, then tap storage and hit clear cache.
That's the one.
But what is actually happening under the hood when we hit that button? Because Axel refers to browsers and messengers as, quote, memory junkies.
It all goes back to that fundamental trade-off we discussed earlier between perceived speed and actual system efficiency.
The illusion again.
Right. Every time you open a web browser or a messaging app like Telegram, your phone has to download data to display the content. It downloads text, images, pop-up ads, formatting scripts, digital stickers.
All the invisible puzzle pieces that make up a web page or a chat thread.
Exactly, all those puzzle pieces. Now, to make sure the app loads faster the next time you open it, the app hoards all of those digital puzzle pieces in its cache.
Because it's betting that you will need them again.
Exactly.
So, wait, it's saving the logo of a restaurant website I visited once, 3 months ago, just in case I ever decide to go back and look at the menu again.
Precisely. Browsers and messengers are greedy. They hoard every digital sticker you scroll past, every site fragment, every banner ad.
Oh, wow.
Over time, this cache balloons into gigabytes of obsolete data. And ironically, the very feature designed to make the app faster eventually makes it slower.
Wait, how does having the data saved locally make it slower? Shouldn't it be faster than downloading it from the internet again?
In theory, yes. But when the cache gets too large, it actually takes the application longer to search through its own massive, bloated cache to find the right file.
Then it would take to simply download a fresh copy.
Exactly. The app literally starts to trip over its own cached files.
Which is what causes the app to freeze, or randomly crash, or take 5 seconds just to pop up the keyboard when you want to type a text message.
Yes. The solution is what Axel elegantly calls a digital oil change.
I really love that analogy.
You have to go into the settings and manually clear the cache for your most heavily used apps.
And just to be clear for you listening, hitting clear cache doesn't delete your passwords or your chat history, right? It just clears out the temporary junk.
Correct. You are not hitting clear data, which would log you out and delete your settings.
That's an important distinction.
Very important. Clearing the cache is perfectly safe. It simply empties the app's short-term memory and forces it to download fresh, relevant data the next time you use it.
It's like resetting the librarian.
Exactly. Just like a Corvette needs regular fresh oil to maintain its performance, your phone's apps need their caches flushed regularly to stay snappy and responsive.
So what does this all mean? When we zoom out and look at the philosophy behind these 3 hidden areas, the dot thumbnails, the WhatsApp sent folder, and the app cache what is the real takeaway here?
The takeaway is absolute empowerment.
I like that.
You do not have to be at the mercy of a degrading device. By taking 10 or 15 minutes every few months to perform this specific maintenance, you are completely transforming your user experience.
You're taking control.
You are preventing the digital system from collapsing under its own weight.
You're stopping it from having a nervous breakdown and turning into an Estonian-speaking brick.
Exactly. You are stepping up and becoming the master of the instrument. You are finally learning how to play the Stradivarius.
I love that. So as we wrap up today's deep dive, the mission is pretty clear. We have to stop treating our phones like magical trash cans that can just absorb infinite amounts of data without consequence.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. If you want that high-speed Autobahn performance, you have to maintain the engine.
It requires intention.
It really does. So here is my challenge to you listening right now. As soon as this deep dive finishes, I want you to grab your phone, go into your files, navigate through that nested maze Android, media, WhatsApp media, WhatsApp video, sent, and just look at how many gigabytes of forgotten videos are hiding in your trunk.
I guarantee you will be shocked.
Oh, totally. Clear those out. Clear your app cache. Clean out those hidden thumbnails. Give your phone that digital oil change.
It is deeply satisfying to reclaim that space and feel the speed return to your device. But, this whole conversation raises an important question, something I think is worth pondering long after we finish today.
Oh, I like where this is going. What's the question?
If our personal devices are secretly hoarding tens of thousands of invisible copies of our past ghost photos, massive duplicate videos, fragments of websites we've long forgotten, all just to create the illusion that our media loads instantly.
Right.
How much of the speed of modern technology is actually just an illusion built on a mountain of hidden digital clutter?
Wow. That is a heavy thought. Are we actually moving faster, or have software engineers just figured out how to hide the mess better?
Precisely. It makes you wonder what else is happening behind the glass.
It really does. Well, at least now you know where the mess is hiding and how to clean it up. Remember, if you're holding a Stradivarius, you have to know how to clean the strings. Until next time, keep your pipes clear, keep your engine tuned, and keep diving deep.